Moving right along, please put your hands together for Nancy Ford from the Repair Lair on Lake Street in Minneapolis.
Thank you very much for letting me be here. And it's nice to see there's a fair number of people that are in this room that have found my shop on Lake Street, which is pretty nice because I don't do much advertising. I rely real heavily on word of mouth and social networking so that people can find me, and also search engine optimization. But I worked in the outdoor industry doing retail for about 15 years, and the longer I did it, the harder it was for me to sell something to somebody. I spent just as much time talking people out of buying things as I did selling it, which, you know, isn't good for my employer. But I started thinking more and more about it, and decided that, well, consignment is big in the Twin Cities. Maybe there's room for a consignment shop that specializes in outdoor gear and clothing. And also my expertise in repairing things and running a sewing machine, I could probably have those two things go hand in hand. And I decided to open up a shop on Lake Street, and we're celebrating, a little bit over a year. And I'm able to pay the bills and keep food in the dog bowl, and the checks ain't bouncing, so that's good. I've been embraced by the neighborhood, and that's a good thing. I spend a lot of time repairing things. I see a lot of things that people have purchased that didn't cost very much and was relatively poor quality, and you know, I do my best to try to fix it. It's probably going to get broken again or need sewing again, but I'll do what I can. I spend a lot of time educating my customers when they come in, and we talk about the quality of the product that they purchased, alternatives, and trying to find a solution to their problem that's economical for both them and me. And one of the side effects of that is, you know, my hashtag is unfill the landfill. The more use you can get out of your things and finding a second use for it, well, it's going to keep it out of the dumpster. And yeah, that's what I spend my time doing, and a lot of it, also on top of that, we have conversations about warranties and manufacturers. There's a lot of manufacturers out there that I wouldn't suggest you purchase products from them because the manufacturers don't have a lot of respect for the consumer. And I think that's real important, and consumers are thinking more and more about that when they're making their purchases. They're thinking about what's going to happen to it after its practical life, and they're hoping that practical life is relatively long, at least long enough to justify the dollars that they spent on it. And oftentimes it comes up short. You call a manufacturer, try to find out about a warranty, and they make you jump through like 5 flaming hoops and, you know, send the certified package, and most consumers aren't going to waste their time doing that, and so it winds up in the dumpster and the manufacturer's off the hook. So thinking about all of that and getting to the second part of it, what actions can we take together? I think we're going to see the same movement with consumer products and clothing that we see with food, where people are asking a lot more questions when they're making their purchases. They're thinking about the history. How did that thing wind up in my store? How did that wind up, you know, in a shop down the block from me? And the people that were working on making that thing, how respected were they? You know, what kind of ramifications are they having to live with because of, you know, the tanning or dyeing process that went on in that third world country to bring us a pair of cheap shoes that we're going to wear for a month and get rid of them because they're not cool anymore. We're going to get the next new thing next month. How we can address that, I don't know, but I know that consumers are going to be moving closer in that direction, and it's not the race to the bottom, which is kind of a line that I use when we're talking about the cost of something. People are willing to pay a little bit more for better food, and I think people are willing to pay a little bit more for better quality constructed clothes, shoes, whatever. And along with that, there has to be a way to educate the consumer and let them know and make them help them make educated choices when they're in the department store. So that's it. That's all I'm throwing out there for you guys, and hopefully somebody can help come up with some sort of campaign to help the consumer. Thank you very much.